Howdy, it's Jim Arado, and this is early April 2025. Right now, we're in Arizona, and we're driving over to New Mexico. Our party decided that we could get to New Mexico by just about a 45-minute drive from where we were at. None of us had ever been to New Mexico, and we decided, yeah, let's do that. And we could put that little check mark next to New Mexico and say we've been there. Of course, if you're like me, it kind of doesn't count. Yes, we were there, but to me, I haven't really done a state unless I've spent at least a couple nights there, visited a national park or two. Hey, there's several things that I want to do in a state. Hey, welcome to New Mexico. There's several things I want to do in a state to really say I've been there. Noticed a lot of these little caves, not little, kind of caves and caverns in the sides of mountains. Definitely want to get back and explore those at some point. And of course, you get out west, the skies are beautiful, even if they're cloudy. They just seem to continuously go. And New Mexico, states to me have a certain color. I think of Arizona as kind of blue and dark red and brown. And I think of New Mexico, from what I've seen of it, as kind of yellowish and light brown with some greens. And some of these scenes, man, some of that landscape, that looks like a painting to me almost. It's beautiful. So anyway, somebody told us to we could go to Gallup. I think that was the closest main town we could get to, so we drove to Gallup. And as we crossed the border from Arizona, we stopped at this visitor center, a very nice little visitor center, very friendly staff. They had a smash penny machine. I smashed a couple pennies, picked up some brochures, and yeah, look how pretty that is. It's a very pretty and fitting visitor center. I liked it. It was a very good stop. We did stop at a place before we left Arizona. I believe it was called Navajo Taco, maybe Navajo Taco, and very friendly little family ran the place. And man, it was kind of ran out of just a tiny little building. We bought some fry bread tacos, and they said we could go sit in their gift shop if we would like. We felt like we were sitting in their living room. There was a little boy in there watching TV. They had some art for sale, but it was a very informal, very sweet experience. One of many such experiences we had while we were in this neck of the woods. And of course, it seemed like I was seeing trains everywhere we went. Something very romantic about driving through the West and seeing trains. It's a tradition that goes back a very long time, and just I love trains. And we got off. I believe we're in or near Gallup at this point, and we only made a couple of stops. We wanted to go, said we'd been there. We had no plans, and we still had plenty to do before the day was over. We would end up going to Winslow, Arizona, to do our Eagles pilgrimage before this day ended. And yeah, just kind of a big, eventful road trip. We did see, this was kind of sad. We did see a couple of packs. I think they're packs of, what do you call them? Formerly domesticated dogs. And it seemed like I read somewhere that that's a thing. And that was, I hated to see that, but hopefully they're doing okay and they're sticking together. But we did notice some stray dogs, and yeah, but it's just for what that's worth. Nice little town like anywhere else you might go to. And this was our first experience being in New Mexico. And again, we would go to Gallup and just pretty much hit a Starbucks, couple shops, and then made our way back. Our trip, this big Arizona trip, was yeah, well, snow followed us the whole time, so we saw snow pretty consistently. And some of these, by the way, these little businesses, yeah, I wish I would have had more time to play around, even in Gallup. You could tell there were just some interesting little spots here. And I filmed one side of the road. I thought we would be going back out the same way, but we ended up going out a different way. And I was not in the passenger seat. I was kind of in the back seat, so I was filming what I could get. But I enjoyed the landscape, as you can tell. I am not very familiar with New Mexico. In fact, it's probably one of the states I'm the least familiar with. I just don't know a lot about it. It does have a very kind of like the first time we went to Arizona. You really feel like you're somewhere unique and different, and I definitely experienced that with New Mexico. I've considered trying to do a New Mexico slash Arizona slash Utah type trip at some point. I think there's enough uniqueness in New Mexico, though, that it's just a state that whenever I have the time, I'm going to have to take a week and just drive around. It's just because it's so unique. Like Arizona, it does have, let me be honest, a little bit of an X Files feel. You do feel like something otherworldly is going on here. I know they have their fair share of UFO sightings and that sort of thing, but you definitely get that vibe that there is just something very different going on. And I hate to say it, but most of what I know about New Mexico, God, this is going to sound terrible. Breaking Bad. Of course, I think a lot of people know a little bit about it from Breaking Bad. By the way, I love those little souvenir shops that you see along the way. The tackier, the better. I am a sucker for those. Unfortunately, my wife and the friends we were traveling with are not suckers for those. So I did not get to indulge in them the way I would have liked to have. And again, we were on a bit of a time limit, just to kind of drive here and back was going to take about an hour and a half away from our trip. We wanted to go and do something, but yeah. So I mean, we were on a bit of a schedule. But I did, like I said, I grabbed some brochures and, can look over those hopefully for a trip back in the near future. Of course, growing up in different places, I grew up in Kentucky. My wife grew up in Ohio. Um, I don't know anybody that grew up in New Mexico. I do have some friends that lived there for a couple of years because of work, and they enjoyed it. And just a quick look at Wikipedia about Gallup. It's a population of about 22,000. A substantial percentage of its population is Native American, Navajo, Hopi, Zuni tribes, and it is the most populous city between Flagstaff and Albuquerque on Route 66. And because of its rugged terrain, it was a popular location in the 40s and 50s for westerns. So that's interesting. It does note substantial crime and um, concerning the movies filmed there. I do know when I was watching Starman, I went back and watched Starman after we visited Meteor Crater, and I believe a scene or two was filmed in Gallup. I think there was a sign that said Gallup somewhere. So, so yeah. And we were just driving around for the heck of it. Again, more trains. In fact, I think we stopped at Starbucks. I was collecting the little "You Are Here" mugs. I got a few of those, but man, you can go crazy with those. I do have a small mug collection, and my wife is kind of making me tone it down. So I haven't picked those up recently. Our friends that were with us, they did though, and that was some sort of substantial piece of art. I forget the story behind it, but we zoomed in on it and took note. If you know what that's about, let me know. I forget why we filmed that one, but my friend Holly actually looked up on her phone and saw that that was one of the attractions in the area. But yeah, we stopped at Starbucks and we got some coffee and kind of a little shopping area here. And again, we just kind of drove around, saw what was here, and then turned back around after checking things out. Oh yeah, and in the Starbucks, I do appreciate the fact that Starbucks has kind of those cool artsy scenes. Each Starbucks I think has something kind of unique. I thought that was quite spectacular. And they had a little community board there, and it was a very nice Starbucks. And we got our coffee. I think we may have even stopped at McDonald's just to say we stopped at a couple places. Then we headed back out, and yeah, so that was Gallup again. Um, didn't plan on doing a lot. Didn't have time to do a lot. It was kind of a last minute. Yeah, we've got the time to do it. Let's drive over and see what's there. Of course, there's a Cracker Barrel and and a little bit more from Wikipedia. Route 66 passes through town. It's lyrics to the song "Get Your Kicks on Route 66." Name drops Gallup. In 2003, the New Mexico Departments of Transportation renumbered U.S. Highway 666, the city's other major highway, as Route 491. And I think it's kind of self explanatory why that was done. And some of the famous movies filmed here in the 40s and 50s: Billy the Kid, Pursued, The Sea of Grass, Four Faces West, Only the Valiant, Ace in the Hole, Escape from Fort Bravo, A Distant Trumpet, and The Hallelujah Trail. And those movies go from the 1930 to 1964. Redskin in 1928 and Superman in 1978. Oh, okay. Well, that's fascinating. Anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed a quick look at our brief crossover from Air. Oh, man, that place is cool. I so wanted to stop there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed our brief look at New Mexico, Gallup, New Mexico. Even as I'm rewatching this, I'm realizing I need to get back there soon. That the area is just really cool. What did I miss? If you live in Gallup, let me know what there is to see. Let me know about the history and what we missed. Let me know what else there is to do in New Mexico. I'd sure appreciate that. Anyway, thanks for watching.